This is part 3 of my 4-part series on the People's Gragic Society. Remember to watch videos 1 and 2 if you haven't watched them yet. We will now proceed with our scheduled programming. Supersymmetry is truly one of the Minecraft mod packs of all time. Zalgo came up with Supersymmetry in mid-2020, when he opened a random page of a physics book and thought that it was a good name for a mod pack. Yes, that is a true story. Zalgo's idea was to combine several real-life processes into great tech. As a physicist, he really wanted to play with his funny nuclear reactor and particle accelerators and orbital mechanics in the game. Back in 2021, when I was 14, I offered to help with Supersymmetry, but the pack had to update to a newer version of GregTech because we were still using the old GTCE at that time, so development was put on hold for about 1.5 years, until I Go By Lots of Names appeared on our server. Igwan offered to help with Sussy. He was one of the most prolific members of the SUSY development team. He came up with about 25 words worth of ideas and research to enhance the chemistry part of GregTech. Several members of the PGS, like Beanie, Bruburu, and MTBO, started helping with the pack. Zalgo supplied us with a 50-kilobyte document detailing the lore of Supersymmetry. Yes, Sussy has lore, and a lot of it. Zalgo was hyping me up back in 2020 when he told me about so many cool boss fights that could happen in Sussy. We started working on Sussy around March. By the beginning of April, we finished the first 2 tiers, the Primitive Age, and the Steam Age, complete with a cool, but not fully realistic geology system, a complete revamp of the GregTech Steam Age, and we were ready to reach low voltage. We decided to release Sussy to the masses as a beta version. I came up with the idea of putting up a trailer, and I Go By Lots of Names edited it. We decided to upload it on April 10th. The result was positive 10,000 views, with about 10,000 people checking Sussy at the same time. Many engineers and chemists decided to help. One guy, named Planet Me, was a professional chemist, and by professional, I mean 16 years old, but he has been absorbing chemistry knowledge since the age of 3, and he has reached PhD tier. His plan was to make a processing chain for every element in the periodic table. This resulted in a massive, 100-page Google document. Some of the chains were utterly ridiculous. You have never been told by a mod pack to calcine and carbochlorinate before. I was of course the guy to put all of this in the quest book. And I was getting quite tired because it turned into 3+ hours of work a day just to keep up with Planet Me. Thanks to the limitations of the questing mod, only one person can edit the file at a time. So when I asked how to do rhodium, it turned into this. At this point I got sick of working on quests and I decided to help with the structures. The task right now was to add the pillar, a massive structure spanning the overworld, the beneath, and the nether. Zalgo was adding the pillar to the game, but he encountered a small bug which caused Sussy to straight up crash on load. I had a solution for this bug, but Zalgo decided to do this instead.
Well, pillars are not happening. We'll reuse the blocks in other structures, and I will keep the world with them just in case. But I can't go around to fixing this now. Region, close the PR. It's not a big deal if it doesn't work. We will reuse the blocks in other dungeons and I will modify the lore. I will upload the world backup. Someone else can figure it out if they want. I'm done with them. I'm done with it. I want to do other stuff. I have to do other stuff. I do not have any more time to waste on these things. I am just done with it. I don't have more time to put into that thing.
Yep, Zalgo nearly deleted 3 weeks of work. This is why I said Zalgo was unstable. But the next day I fixed it all by setting the pillar's coordinates to fixed numbers. I asked Zalgo what the coordinates should be. He spent a full hour on trying to come up with 8 random numbers for 4 coordinates. Zalgo came up with some bullshit reason for why the coordinates are connected with the Lord. I asked why he picked these specific numbers, and he said that I don't have clearance to know that, even though I am literally one of the admins, one of the 2 most powerful people on the server, out of 1,500. I asked Zalgo what other structures we should add, but he just said no, because actually
SASI contains parallel universes, multiple timelines, physics, the Koch-Cauchy theorem.
At this point, no one except Zalgo knows the actual lore of SASI, which is weird, because we are all main developers. He said that the 50 kilobyte document that he sent was
very old and outdated actually.
And he added a bunch more stuff without telling us. Working with Zalgo is quite stressful. However, I still continued to work with Zalgo because I liked the idea of supersymmetry, and I wanted to see SASI finish. Supersymmetry was getting quite insane at this point, so I decided to take a small break. The server was undergoing several K-class scenarios at the same time, but let's move to the PGS. Remember when we removed Glees at the end of episode 2? Well, I talked with him, and I invited him back again. The reason being that without Glees, the PGS would have to choose another person as a diplomat during the upcoming Supersymmetry server. The vote to get Glees back in went 4-0, with Zalgo, Tiliabi 228, MTBO, and me voting in support of adding Glees, and 3 people not voting. The PGS was getting along with Glees just fine, until the incident happened. If Zalgo wanted to get something done, he thinks he can do it with any means possible. The thing that triggered Zalgo was a minor argument about politics, like we saw in episode 2. Zalgo's strategy to getting something done is by repeatedly spamming someone over a period of several hours. However, it would get a lot worse. Zalgo can keep an online argument for 12 hours, go to sleep, come back the next day, and fight for another 12 hours. At 11:30 a.m., Zalgo posted this.
I'm gonna be real with you all. Glisa hasn't changed. The stupid shit he posted, I'm not going to remove it. I'll just leave it there until Quarkman sees it from my computer and the inevitable mess happens.
Quarkman was Zalgo's friend in real life who checks Zalgo's computer in real life. He has posted a total of 2 words on the PGS server.
If Quarkman reads those messages, I'll never hear the end of it.
Zalgo, Quarkman logs into Discord once every 3 months. What do you mean?
Quarkman also uses my account when I'm not. Well, he doesn't write, just browses messages, but I know he browses clearance, level 3. He uses my computer. So, kicking Quarkman wouldn't work either. If he reads that, he will respond, and the others will respond.
Zalgo, who are the others?
CERN.
Does CERN really care so much about what a random guy on Discord has to say?
Yes, because he actually hates people who are willingly idiots. Anyone, I'll try to give a heads up if Quarkman sees those messages. Guy is a fucking postdoc at the most advanced scientific institution in history and openly despises idiot takes and takes pleasure in destroying the self-image and self-confidence of people who say those things, along with that of anyone who associates to them.
What Zalgo is saying is that if some guy at CERN found his computer, Zalgo would be thrown into a cataclysmic event. This was a matter of global security. The most advanced scientific institution on Earth was about to be defeated by a random guy from Discord. If Glees is still on the server, then the LHC might as well explode. The Glees particle was no longer going to be discovered. The tera-electron volts are dying. Switzerland has fallen. Zalgo then went to my DMs, because both of us are Italian. This conversation happened in Italian, so I will have to translate.
I know you won't like it, but we have to remove Gliese. If we don't remove it, we can say goodbye to the PGS. Half the people will leave.
These people have not talked about this at all. All of this happened in about half a day. Whether the supposed 16 people actually wanted to leave is very questionable.
I'm telling you this because I already know that 2 people besides me will vote to remove him. I need to remind you that a lot of people, like Helios, wanted to leave because of him. I can't afford to ignore this, and if these messages come out, we're in trouble. Many of the best members we have should leave to avoid being associated with him in any way. Just don't let people who just want a platform to spout bullshit get undisturbed. Before continuing, I want to ensure the greatest support from the arbiters.
You might remember that you need a vote to remove a person. Zalgo already contacted all the other admins in the past 12 hours, and told them to vote yes for a potential Glees kick. All of this before the vote even started. This sounds sus. If 15 people really wanted to leave because of Glees, then why haven't I heard anything of it?
Region, Quarkman saw the messages. It's over.
Zalgo and Quarkman know each other in real life. Zalgo also mentioned that Quarkman is a postgraduate student at CERN, which doesn't really leave that much time for checking Discord. Also, Zalgo said that Quarkman uses Zalgo PC to check the messages in clearance level 3 and arbiter chats. All of this seems very suspicious. This isn't really professional for someone at CERN.
You know that if the vote doesn't pass, the PGS ends here, right? Half the people are leaving, almost all the active ones.
Wrong. The PGS does not end if the supposed 16 people quit the server. We still have another 16.
I will look like shit in real life.
Well, Zalgo, this is a Minecraft server. Not even a Minecraft server because we haven't played together in half a year. How is this related to CERN? Zalgo continued until midnight. He started a 30-minute-long tangent about the current state of Italian politics for no reason. Even after trying to stop him, he kept continuing. He continued on the next day, until about 3 p.m. when Glees just got fed up and quit. This was in June, and I haven't seen him since. He mentioned that he's dealing with stuff IRL, so I think he quit Discord. Before the incident, Zalgo was my idol. I wanted to be like him. He was just so cool, right? He went to parties every week. He got all the bitches. He worked for a particle accelerator. I loved him, but at this point, I was beginning to doubt him. He created so much drama that I was unable to sleep that night. I stayed up until 3 a.m. wondering if it was better to listen to Zalgo or to save Glees. Obviously a 16-year-old should not deal with this. Zalgo exploited this psychological superiority to get me to ban Glees. He also exploited the fact that he is about 10 years older than me, which made me scared, because an adult was telling me things that could probably have consequences in real life. But enough about this. Let's skip ahead a bit. Zalgo, with the help of I go by lots of names, decided to set up a server for Supersymmetry. It was a test server to fix the final few bugs and prepare ourselves for the event. Things went very smoothly. The PGS got to high voltage until the final day, where a certain Portuguese guy and a certain Kurdish guy decided to spam little tiles toilets all over the base at about 3 a.m. Everyone else, except Zalgo, found it quite funny. I woke up to this.
I am about to listen to the intrusive thoughts because of Sailor. He's not fit to be in the PGS. It pissed me off so much in the little time I had to play that I was about to delete the Suzy repo. While I and the other play testers were trying to move forward, he started shitting his dick.
I was quite scared at this point. He was about to delete Sussy, throwing 4 months of work down the proverbial little tiles toilet. If Zalgo wanted to remove Sailor, because he found him annoying, he could set up a vote.
I don't care, most would vote for the status quo. Don't worry, if I want to kick him, I'll do it.
Zalgo was then reminded that only I have the permissions to kick arbiters. Arbiters have admin powers, but Sailor was also an arbiter. I asked him to explain how he would get rid of Sailor, but he didn't. Yes, this time, Zalgo nearly deleted the entirety of Supersymmetry because of Minecraft toilets. This is why it is so stressful to work with Zalgo. After several hours of fighting, Zalgo calmed down at the end, and I received this message from I go by lots of names. Supersymmetry will be achieved on July 23rd.
Popolo gregico del mondo. Ascoltatemi, dopo mesi di lavoro strenuante, dopo mesi di sacrifici e sudore, dopo traduzioni da 15 lingue diverse, dopo aver ricreato centinaia di simulazioni, grazie a me, Quarkman, Glown Girl e molti altri, il potere di un altro mondo è ora nostro.